Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. So let's talk about those tag deed auctions. A lot of people would ask me, is it really true that you can actually go to an auction and bid on houses, on properties, and buy something online at an auction? And the answer is yes. So today we are going to talk about tax deed auctions, what they are, how to find them, what are the risks and the opportunities that come with them, and what else can you do if you do not want to go with tax deed auctions, if you figure that it's not something for you based on the information that we're going to share. We'll see what other options there are out there. My name is Karen Amadis. I am a realtor and investor. Also, I'm the co-owner of Positive Money Mode. So, what is a tax deed auction? Like every year, property owners are required to pay property taxes on the properties to the county clerk office. If on the 1st of April taxes are not received, then the property is considered delinquent. So from 1st of April until June, the county has the option to decide to sell those tax certificates. They will create a tax certificate in the amount of the taxes owed, and also on a day in June, usually is early June, depending on the county, they will schedule a sale for tax certificates. And the tax certificates, anyone can actually come and purchase a tax certificate. They receive interest on those tax certificates, and they hold on to them until the owner pays the taxes owed. Now, if after 2 years or a little bit more sometimes, there is no response from the owners, no taxes were ever paid, then the county has the option to organize an auction and sell off the property. So when the property is sold off, the tax certificate holder gets their share of whatever they had paid for taxes. They get this money back. But of course, the auction is open for anyone to bid and purchase the property. What is the process for the tax deed auction? So in Florida, each county manages their own tax deed auction. So every month, each county will publish a list of all the properties that are available for bidding online. Usually it's online. There's only one or two county. There are only one or two counties in Florida that still do in-person bidding, but most of the counties in Florida do online bidding. So as a potential investor, somebody who's interested in bidding on those properties, the first step, of course, is to go to the county that you are interested in purchasing or bidding on the property. You go on their website and you register. And to bid, you would have to make a deposit. The deposit is 5% of the maximum amount that you want to bid. For example, you want to bid on the auctions in Miami-Dade, but you do not wish to spend more than $100,000. You do not wish to bid more than $100,000 on a property. Therefore, you would make a deposit of 5%, which is about $5,000 ahead of time, like usually 24 hours before the scheduled auction. And you can do this either by going to the clerk's office and go to the counter and give you $5,000, or you can do a wire transfer. Once the deposit is made, then you can show up on the day of the auction and bid online. The highest bidder, of course, is the one who wins. And once you win the auction, then you have 24 hours to pay in cash for the amount that you bid for. And once the amount is received, the balance is received, then the clerk's office does the transfer of ownership. The title goes to you immediately. Where do you find those auctions? I'm going to use Miami-Dade mostly because I'm close to Miami-Dade. So there are two domains that are used for auctions. There is the real foreclosed domain and the real tax deed domain. Most counties in Florida will use the realforeclose.com. So it's going to be the county name dot realforeclose.com. So it can be broward.realforeclose.com, or it can be Lee or no Brevard dot realforeclose.com. On those websites, they will list or they will show the schedule for both tax deed auctions and foreclosure auctions. We're only talking about tax deed, but there are also foreclosures, like somebody who doesn't pay their mortgage or doesn't pay the HOA. Their properties will also go on foreclosure auctions. So on these websites, you will see the calendar for those foreclosures as well. And next to them, you'll see the calendar for the tax deed. And there are some counties who use the real tax deed domain, and these are the ones that only do tax deed auctions. So the realtaxdeed.com or for only tax deed auctions. So once you go on, let's say, for example, Miami-Dade, realforeclose.com, the first thing you want to do is to register. This is the registration page here, where you enter your first name, last name, email address, phone number. You register here, registration next. And on that page, you get your username, your password. The good thing about the username and password for those websites is that once you register for, let's say, Miami-Dade, you can go on Lee County's website and enter that same username and password. You can go on Brevard County and enter that same username and password. St. Lucie County, enter the same username and password. On all of those websites, the credentials will work. This is the calendar for May. Everything that is in blue are the foreclosures, what I mentioned before, foreclosures from not paying your mortgage, for not paying your HOA. There's a whole calendar here. It's like 3 times a week they have the foreclosures auctions, and then there are the tax deed auctions in orange. So the next one is on the 14th of May, and then the following one on the 21st of May. What these here mean, 37 and 46 or 32 and 49, is that originally when they start the month, there are 49 properties. Let's say, for example, on the 14th of May, there's a tax deed auction. So there are 49 properties originally that were slated to be auctioned off. But between the time that it was announced and now, already, let's say, is what, 49 minus 32, 17 of those goes in and pays the taxes that are owed. Then those properties are removed from the calendar. So that's why we have 32 of 49. So on the 14th of May, if no one else pays the taxes, there will be 32 properties to bid on. Let's have a quick look on this on the left-hand side of what is there. So there's the calendar. The calendar is where we are here. We're looking at the calendar, what's coming. And then the summary is how much money that you deposited, how much money you've spent on the property that you probably won. All of your information will be there. And then there's the placing a bid. So you don't necessarily have to be present during the auction, because you can already place bids ahead of time, like a proxy bid, and put your amount, the maximum amount that you want to bid. And of course, here for my bids, there are auction results. So if you won, you will see it there. If you didn't win, it will show that you bid on such and such property, but you didn't win. And quick search, you can search for properties that you are interested in. The quick search, the watch list, you can put properties that, let's say you go on the tax deed schedule for the 14th, you see a property that you like, then you can add it to your watch list. Oh, sorry. So, other options here, making a deposit. For the deposit, you get information on how to make the deposit. So this is where you will go to find the account information, the bank account information of the county, so you can do a wire transfer. Or they will give you the address of the clerk's office, so you can go to the counter and make your deposit. Make a payment, that's also something. If you win the auction, then you will go there and you will print out the balance, so you can do a balance, a wire transfer. All the information on how to do those will be on there, and how much is the balance, all of this information will be on there. Requesting a refund is if you had made a deposit and you don't feel like bidding anymore, and then you want your money back, then you get your deposit back. The deposit is there just for when you want to bid. If you decide you don't want to bid anymore, you can request your deposit back. If you win a property, the deposit is applied towards the balance of the amount that you need to pay for the property. Okay? And that's invoices and payments. Those are also self-explanatory here. This is the next one. All right, so as you can see here, for the 14th of May, there's a tax deed auction coming. Let's go. When you click on it, you go to this page. This page. Okay. So on this page, you'll see auctions waiting. This is for the 14th of May, starting at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And it gives you the case number where you can click on it and see what the details of the properties are. Here you see what the opening bid. The opening bid is how much the owner owes in taxes that haven't been paid. And then you get the parcel ID, that's description of the property as well, the address of the property, and also the assessed value. So this is how much the property is worth according to the tax appraiser's office. Okay, so there will be a whole list. There's 4 pages of different properties that are going to be auctioned on the 14th of May. Now, what are the opportunities that comes with purchasing a house, a property, a piece of land on auction? Now, it's open to all. Anybody can bid. Anybody. You go, you register, you put in your deposit, you can bid for the property and see if you win. You're bidding against other people, other investors, other people who are trying to find a property at a discounted price. So it is open to all. And opportunity is an opportunity to have long-term investments. So you can purchase land and have them for the future. You try to buy them at a reduced price and hold on to them for when it's time to when you're ready to sell them. Long-term investment in getting a property for your portfolio building. If you want to be an investor, you want to have multiple properties, you can also go and try to get these properties at a discounted price. People who do house flips, you can get this property. Usually those properties are not necessarily in the best shape. That's why people don't pay their taxes. They don't take care of the houses, so you have to get them at a discounted price and do some repairs and sell them or hold on to them or do whatever you have in your strategy as your goals for those houses. So everything comes with risk. With the biggest opportunities, there are the biggest risks. And these are those main ideas that I want you to keep in mind when when considering an auction, considering bidding on a property. There are many, many risks. There are a lot of risks that come with purchasing a property at auction. First of all, is the property condition. Like I the so once you purchase this property, so you would have to deal with making repairs, making changes, and all of this. Occupancy. This is another big risk. Some of those properties are occupied. They have tenants, they have the owners, they have renters, they have squatters who are there. So you would have to go through a whole legal process to get those people evicted. The county will not help you. The county sell those properties at auction as is. As is means the way that it is, with the condition that it is, and also with the people who are in there. So that was my experience. Okay. That was my experience. The property that I had squatters. You have to go through a process and get them evicted. Another risk is you need to have cash. Cash is required. You have to pay cash as soon as you win the bid. Title issues. Now, when you purchase those properties at auctions, you have a cloud on your title, so you need to go and get a quiet title to make sure that the insurance company will insure those properties that you have. There are hidden liens on those properties. So there's municipal liens. There are code enforcement fees, penalties, all of these HOAs. Those are liens that stay even though the property goes on auction. They are still there even after you win the bid. So to mitigate all of this, you need to research. Main thing you want to do is research the property. What is the condition of the property? What kind of property it is? Who owns it? Where is it? What's going on with it? Do the owners still live there? Who lives there? What is the where is it located? Where is it zoned for residential? Is it commercial? Where is it? Is it manufacturing? What is it? So you want to know all you can ahead of time about the property. You have to check all the liens, like I mentioned earlier. There are lots of liens that stay. How if the owner didn't pay for the water bill, the sewer bill, they have code violation fines. All of those will be your responsibility, and you want to make sure that you check your public records to make sure that those liens are handled. In my situation, the municipal liens and the code violation were they deducted those from the amount that I paid that I bid on the property. So that those were not an issue because I bid over what was owed on the property. On one case, they used it to cover the code violations and the municipal liens. To make sure that you don't have an issue, do a drive by, go in the neighborhood, see the exterior condition so you can at least have an idea of what the house or the property looks like. Go drive and see, because you do not want to go and bid on a property that had a fire last week and then it's completely burned down. So you want to do a drive by, see what it looks like. You want to set a maximum bid when you're bidding for those properties. There is an assessed value there on the website, on the bidding portal, so you can already see what the value, have an idea of the value of the property, and you do not want to go too much over that amount. Okay, so you want to avoid emotional biddings. You want to research it and be disciplined enough to stay within your budget. So you want to also have an idea of what you will do with this property once you get it. Are you going to keep it? Are you going to sell it? Are you going to do a wholesale? Are you going to fix it and rent it? What do you do with it? So you need to have an idea of what you want to do, what your exit strategy is when it comes to this. You have to make sure that you have a budget to deal with repairs, with the legal cost to evict people, to make sure that you continue get the property in condition, to do whatever your goal is, whatever you set your goal is as your exit strategy. So you want to keep all of those in mind. Um, Also, the biggest risk that maybe you definitely need to keep in mind here, as I said, you don't know the condition. The condition of the property is the biggest issue because you don't know once you cannot go inside to check and see, bring your contractor to kind of give you a quote of how much it's gonna cost to repair because you don't have access to the inside of the property. So this is the biggest risk ever because you could drive by and have an idea from the outside of what the inside is, and based on this you have to make your budget and see how much is your maximum bid gonna be based on what you assume that the inside condition is. And that is really the toughest part because you don't know what's under there, you don't know what's in there, you don't know what's going on inside this house, and you don't know how much it's gonna cost you to get it in condition to sell it or keep it or rent it. So the best deals really sometimes are not at auctions because the auctions come with too many risks that you cannot really avert. There's no way to know what the condition is. There's no way to know how much it's gonna cost to fix it. So sometimes the best thing to do is to try something that's different from an auction. You can consider pre-auction opportunities, people who are listed to go on auction, but their properties are listed to go on auction, but they want to not lose the property, so they're willing to sell it. There's less competition like this when you approach the owner and say, hey, I know your property is going to go into auction. Would you accept a certain amount for it? Instead of losing out completely. That way you have more control of how much you can bid, how you have more control and you know what's going on. Then there are fewer surprises when it comes to the repairs that you need to make. So the goal is not just to buy a property. The goal is to make is to make smart and profitable decisions. And if you need assistance with that, help is available. You can contact me, get personalized guidance. We can evaluate some deals. We can find opportunities so you can avoid all the costly mistake that comes with bidding blindly on some properties at auction. You can get assistance. I am available. This is my all my information here. My phone number is 754-444-6048. I speak French, I speak English, Bali Creole, and you can email me at amadisrealestate@gmail, and also go on my website and see what is available and contact me. Contact me if you have any additional questions. Once again, thank you again for joining. We'll see you at the next presentation.